I did a review, not a review. I did a video a few months ago going over my like top to bottom making videos and like all the little shortcuts I've found to kind of help make the process less painful. It's not a popular video, but the people that did watch it seem to find some amount of value in it because it's like 20 minutes long of me going over a lot of stuff, like detailing how I like type out all this stuff. And yeah, it's something I've killed a day making. It's one of the easier videos I think to make though.
The how to make a video.
Yeah, right.
So meta. Love it.
And then a couple follow-ups, mostly about like the back end things, like promoting your stuff, rather than just like telling everybody where to find it, because that can be intrusive and annoying in my opinion. Just saying, hey, go watch this, go watch that. Like, if you do your part on the back end, people will find your stuff. It's worked for me, and I'm doing okay.
Yeah. So, I see the updates all the time in the feed because I don't really subscribe to many channels, so I see those updates pop up.
So appreciate that. Yeah. Because people like to know about certain things, and as long as even if it's not super popular, if you like record it, or I mean, if you tag it right, it'll at least show up with related things.
Sure. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't really do with the podcast is I don't do a lot of the promotional things. Like I do it, I put in all the work, and it similar to your process to produce like an hour and a half podcast. It's a good 5 or 6 hours, and then it's just that promotion thing. I don't really, I don't want to do it. I do all the publishing and stuff and the editing and all that, and a lot of the research. But when it comes to publish, it's just not. Or when it comes time to promote, I'm just not that big into putting it out there because I just don't do a lot of social media.
What's going on to the couple people that are in there? Homegrown Kicks, Jeezy, Chip, welcome to the party.
You didn't miss anything. Sorry for the delays. Kids, bedtime hour.
Because I've been on some other channels and like they'll say, "Oh, you want to tell people where they can find you?" I'm like, the internet. Like, that's it. I'm out there.
I'm out there.
I see the numbers. I don't get super in tune, but people find the channel. They watch the videos every day. It is interesting to look at. One of the things I do like looking at, though, is the last 60 minutes of views, just to see what people have watched in the last hour, because it's so random. Like sometimes it'll be like a bunch of stuff from like the early on videos. I'm like, who's watching this right now? Like, why? How did you even find it?
Exactly.
And then it'll be like some of the other stuff that's a little more current. I'll be like, oh, okay, I can get that. There must be a sale on Nike. And then, of course, I go over there and it's like all the shoes they're watching are all the shoes that are on sale.
Oh, right. So, makes sense.
Yeah. I usually get a boost around Nike sale times. So that's pretty cool.
Like Air Max Day. I think you did a lot of videos on the Air Max Day. Those are some really good videos last year. You had this whole series. Those were really entertaining. I think I saw one of your first videos looking for the Ultra Boost South Korea. It was like the white pair and like they're what's the word? They're asymmetrical. There's like the red and blue, but then they're like swapped red and blue on the other pair.
Yeah. I haven't looked at those in a while, but yeah, I think the heel cups are swapped. Right.
Yeah, I think that's it. There's like a red heel cup and a blue heel cup. And they're Clima pair, so they're like extra vulnerable to the elements. It's like white Clima.
That's a good way to put that. But so I know there's some people in here that are probably anxious to see what we're here for. So, but before I'll say the same thing that I say to everybody else, the same thing we just talked about. You want to tell people where they can find you?
Sure, I'll promote myself. I'm previously of the Predator Minute podcast, where my buddy Jeff and I analyzed the movie Predator, 1987 Arnold movie Predator, 1 minute at a time. That's about a 2.5-year commitment. We finished that up, and then we started a new podcast called Seen It All with Jeff and John. Seen as in SCENE. It All with Jeff and John, where we break down a certain scene from a certain movie every other week. And like at the end of the episode, the next person or not the next person, but the other host picks the scene in the movie to talk about, and then we'll swap it and then talk about that movie and scene the next time. And it's really fun because we talk about a different movie every episode. Our first episode was Terminator 2 and the river chase scene, or the LA river chase scene, where they're on motorbikes and trying to escape from the T-1000 in the big semi tow truck. And I think we've released 4 episodes total, but we have a couple in the can as well. Just takes that few hours of editing like we're talking about.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I actually almost bought a T-1000 figure at Target the other day. I get
Whoa.
When I go action figure hunting, I don't like to leave empty-handed, and it's just one of those things. I'm sure Jeezy and Homegrown Kicks can probably relate. So, speaking of not leaving empty-handed,
yeah,
got some boxes here.
Actually, I have 2 boxes. I went ahead and
that's right.
doubled up, but I actually have a couple boxes. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I only have the one. So I had 2 for the picture, but that other box was opened and reviewed earlier today. So somewhere, those shoes are somewhere, but those aren't really what matters today so much. It's these. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and use this fancy knife that BX got me a while ago.
Ooh, I'm using scissors that kind of smell like chocolate.
To retire, I have to retire my scissors. Let's see. I'm late doing a little treasure. Hey,
we never did our.
Did you get that? What did I send you? $1 Million Man. I'm guessing it should have come recently. Well, this is different already.
Yeah, I noticed a big difference. I watched It's Teddy's video on these because I think it was.
I haven't seen his videos in a while.
I think it was his first Ultra Boost video in a long time, and it just happened to pop up on Twitter when I was searching for these. But yeah.
So go ahead and hit you guys with the top of the box here and all that good stuff. The side there for you, so that way kind of give you pretty much dead giveaway of what's in here.
Boost.
But let's. Okay, so you did get it. Good. I sent Mr. Jones a Ted DiBiase the other day. 13, man, that is a lot of shoe.
Yeah, trying to organize them in the garage. There's been a lot of shelf maintenance and reconfiguring just to find a place to fit all my shoes.
All right, let's go ahead. I'll let you go first. Go ahead and pull your pair out.
Okay. Yeah, and I think like me, you also ordered these off Packer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I think that was the first U.S. site that was putting them on, and then you and I jumped all over them. I was just once I saw this pair for the first time on one of those, I don't know, Sneaker Bar Detroit or sneakernews.com, I just thought right away, I have to have these for a lot of reasons. I mean, the first off is just the brilliant colorway. This is, I think, the mint and scarlet pair.
Right.
And secondly, because there's a pair of Ultra Boost 19s I was looking for the longest time, but they're an Asia exclusive. And I think I even asked you about them last year, but they had like the teal and they had the red and they had like the dark teal on them. And I've seen some people compare them on Twitter, these to those 19s, but these look great. These look great. I'm not seeing any marks. I'm learning from you. That's like the first thing you do. You're looking for the marks on all the the light spots, like all the scuff spots where someone might be hitting something. No, these look great. It might be hard to see on my camera, but I'm sure you've seen these on other videos or other pictures. But the boost itself is colored like an aged yellow, which I thought was really interesting choice.
That is a nice touch, especially on that particular one. It just works well on there.
Oh, and I like that. I like the multicolor torsion system. That's something that really stood out to me too, is the kind of teal and red torsion system. But yeah, that's the Bahia Mint. Yeah, these look nice. Oh, and they're also the 1.0 knit pattern, if you haven't seen that before. But there's the 1.0. I think I have an actual OG pair of 1.0 blue I was wearing today. Super worn down, but you can see that. There's the toe box for the original blue 1.0, and there's the newest 1.0.
That's a nice blue on that other one, too.
I guess what else I meant to say too, but I'm sure you'll talk about it some, is the inspiration for these comes from the ZX line. These are specifically the ZX 9000s, ZX 9000 inspired Ultra Boost.
Right. And I've tried not to fall deep into the ZX rabbit hole lately, but we'll see how long that goes.
I did see, I think we started that conversation because I saw your review of the ZX 6000s. 8,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate the segue there. It's like
it's like I've done this a little bit.
So here we go. Where's that solo button?
There you go.
Go ahead and bring this up here. It's kind of hard to. I get better with this with the actual camera. But so we have this right here. This is the Ultra Boost 1.0 DNA and the ZX 8000 Aqua colorway, pretty much. So basically the same thing as what John was showing there. One thing I didn't notice, because I don't watch reviews of things that I plan to buy, was this here suede and whatnot down here. Very thick material going on. I don't know if you can kind of see from the right angle there just how thick that toe box layering is.
That's thick.
I'm liking that. And like you were saying, the 1.0 pattern as well. I'll compare those to this right here being the actual, not the original, because this is the one from 2021. And of course, because I am a slide guy, I do have the slide version as well.
I like those slides.
So, yeah, I just bought them on a whim because thought they looked pretty cool, you know. And then I found out that those were actual shoes that I could buy. So yeah, so this is kind of like what they both look like, more or less side by side. Very similar. You can definitely see the inspiration there as far as the color layout. And I think it went pretty well when they did these here. Also with that, you can't quite tell based on this camera because it kind of sucks a lot. But down here on the inside, this is more of like a neon green sort of color, kind of volt, but not as vibrant.
Yeah, it's that volt again. There's that volt.
Same thing down on here and on here. On the camera, at least from my viewing, it looks like it's very yellow, but it's actually a light green color, almost like a tennis ball in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And then with a little piece down on the inside there. Torsion system is kind of made to match as well, with a little bit of yellow, a little bit of green down there at the bottom. Sometimes you notice that on certain pairs with this is that stretch web style outsole that they do. But overall, yeah, this is looking pretty good. I had to pay a fair amount. Well, I won't say a fair amount, but I was hoping I'd be able to get them and use one of those discounts that Adidas throws out sometimes. There's also a little preem strip on the back, which is new to me. I didn't notice that before.
Yeah, they both have it.
That's an odd touch. Yeah. And then down at the bottom, the torsion system on the, what's that? I forget what the term for these things is here. Something starts with a B, but yeah, they have that down there. So overall, I am definitely cool with these. I'm not a huge fan of paying that $180 plus shipping. I think that's what really did it, was that I had to pay shipping with these as well. On Adidas, it's just free shipping, but still a mildly expensive shoe.
My second was the same colorway. So I just thought it looked so good. I couldn't do like a white and cream pair. I just can't do that with any pair of shoes. Yeah. Same with like a light gray. I just can't do it with the little kids running around. It has to have at least some color and pop, or just like really dark gray or black. Like it needs to like hide the stains, because I'm not washing my shoes this often. And like you said, with the suede, I mean, that would be kind of hard to wash anyway. It just doesn't look good when you wash it.
Yeah, it's not like that amazing suede like on. I just, the shoes that I did a review on earlier today, it was a made in the UK New Balance, and those tend to really bring the quality when you get those. So this isn't on that level, but it's still pretty decent. You know, it's a little rougher, but for what this is, it's kind of what you would probably expect. And the knit here is feeling really soft, actually. I don't know if you didn't really look too much into that when I was just kind of going over it, but yeah, either that or maybe I just haven't really worn an Ultra Boost in a while and just forgot how soft this is.
No, it has that 1.0 softness for sure.
But yeah, I'm really liking that. And because that's one of the things I get, that the different models, that they all have their own improvements, but there are also certain things that with some of them just kind of were better than others. Like a lot of people prefer the 1.0 stitching pattern. I prefer like the 19 overall feel. I mean, the 21 is solid, don't get me wrong, but the 19 had a really good feel to it. I wasn't a huge 20 guy. And then the 3s and 4s were fairly similar, but no complaints either way.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the, gosh, I probably like them all except for the 3. For whatever reason, the 3 just always had the weirdest feel to me. And I even found like a pair of like basically new in box 3s a couple months ago, and they still just, I don't know, they just have a different feel to me for some reason. Like they're like a little bit sloppier on foot. That's the only way I can think to describe it. It's not necessarily like too tight or too loose, just kind of like the fit just is different than like the 1 or the 2 or the 4.
So I want to say it was the 3s where the fit was all over the place, because some people were saying it was somewhat consistent with the colors of the shoe, like the different knits had different the different colored knits had different thicknesses and felt different and everything. And I can kind of agree to that, because I remember like there would be some pairs where I'd buy like, standard size, and they would just fit perfectly. Then I'd buy another color and it would fit all different,
Oh, that's a good point about, the actual like design of the knit, because like the 1s and the 2s and the 4s are all really like centrally knit around the toe, and the 3s are just kind of like stripes basically of like,
yeah. And so I would wear, because like I bought my Trace Pink 3.0. I'm pretty sure they're 3.0s. Those, it took them a while, but like eventually they started to fit perfectly, But then there were other ones that were, again, the same size, and they always felt like a looser fit than I want. Because, with the Ultra Boost, it's known for that sock-like style, and that's what I like, right? That's
right.
Why I buy shoes like that in Huaraches, because it just gives me that feel that I like. But there were just certain colorways of that model that just weren't doing it for me. But then you look later at like the 19s, those were pretty consistent across the board. I think I have maybe, I'll call it 5 pair, I guess, maybe. That sounds fair. But they all fit pretty well,
Yeah. Yeah, and you can be athletic, especially like in the 19s and 20s, and I would say the 21s. We never did a follow-up of the 21s.
No, we didn't. Because we got those in February, and then in March, I didn't wear mine because it was Air Max month, so I only wear Air Maxes in March.
Of course.
And then I did do a week of performance reviewing or whatever in April. I think it was the second week of April, because I want to say the first week was the VaporMax 2020, and the next week was the 21, or maybe it was the other. No, it was the other way around. The first week was the Ultra Boost 21. The next week was the VaporMaxes, because I remember being very disappointed, probably more so than I would have normally been, by doing the VaporMax second. I was like, oh my god, because it's not great. It's not great.
Right. No, that's what I hear.
So had I done the VaporMax first, I probably wouldn't have disliked it as much as I did. So, spoiler alert for how that video's going to go.
Oh, was that the other video you filmed today?
No, I haven't done that. I want to give that one, I want to give the VaporMaxes another chance, because it's the VaporMax, and I've got that soft spot for the Air Max VaporMax line. So I don't want to believe that I dislike it that much. So I want to, put some more miles in it and see if that changes my opinion. But right now, the way the VaporMax 20 feels compared to the Ultra Boost 21 is a huge difference. It's not the 19s versus the Flyknit 3s. That situation was close and kind of just fell down to like what you prefer in some kind of ways. But this one, it's more of like this is the winner, period situation.
Right. The Ultra Boost 21.
Yeah, easily, which is unfortunate, because while I expected it to win, I didn't expect it to be such a one-sided thing, which is again why I want to go back and kind of redo that. Not redo it, but put some more miles in there just to double check and see, like, maybe it'll get better over time. That's some of that wishful thinking.
Right. They're just adding more and more tech. I thought they had as much tech on there as, I don't know, they needed.
Well, because like the thing is just that the piece that I don't know how familiar you are with the VaporMax 20s, but they have that block here because there's no laces, so they have that lacing system, right?
Right.
And then they have down the side.
Oh, is that the cinch Titan laces? Like you just pull it tight?
Give me a second. I'll show you.
Sure.
Should be one right on top here. So this is actually the one that I was doing the testing in, so I guess it makes sense to go with it. But up on the top here,
yeah, look at that block.
So you have this block, and then these strips where the black parts are.
Right.
Normally, this would be like a fly knit situation on your fly wire situation on your standard Air Max type of shoe, running shoe. And down here, when you pull the laces, it would just kind of tighten all this, right? Just kind of lock it down. So this, not quite so much. The fly wire stuff is more so right in here. And where these black strips are, they're fairly stiff, honestly. So when you're running, like, you don't want these stiff pieces like right in there, like, because that's where your foot wants to be a little more free-feeling, So instead, it almost feels like I did one of my little 1-minute promo things on shoes, like, and I would compare it to like if you took like some fingernail files and just stuck them in your shoe and thought about how that would feel if you were running with it, right?
Bad.
Yeah, it's not great, So that is one of the things that makes me not thrilled about the way this shoe worked out. It feels good to like wear, but that piece there is definitely not great. But they retooled the bottom, and that is solid. Like this here, like the whole extensive break-in period from the previous versions of VaporMaxes, these probably still will get better over time, but they start off a lot better than the older ones do. So to me, it almost starts off like where the broken in, like 19s or 3s, felt,
Right.
But I just don't like all this and like this whole pull to lock thing. Like,
like a ski rope in the back. What's going on back there?
Yeah, I don't like that thing. Like this whole pull to tighten thing. Like,
right.
Which is very stretchy. It's a little more stretchy than like one might think,
Right.
And then like you lift that to like actually release it. It's too much stuff happening, and if one of these things breaks, the shoe is done, right?
Right.
Because if you look again here, these little pieces here, they look like somewhat thick floss, and I just don't have a lot of faith in how sturdy they are. So I just feel like it could break at any point, or maybe the box will break. It's the box itself will break,
Yeah, that box does not. Yeah, box does not look good. It looks really just utility and like incomplete. Honestly,
it's not the greatest thing. Like, because you got in there and see it's up, and then you pull, and then like when it releases, it goes back to the bottom. It's a whole thing that just, I don't know. It's not my favorite thing, but past this, like, it looks like for the next year, for the 21s, they're going to just do laces, like normal laces. And that should take away a lot of the complaints that I have about the shoe, assuming the rest of it stays fairly the same. Right. Because I don't have any other real problems. Other one being like the knit itself it's a little bit of a looser feel, which when I'm running isn't something I want. But for standard walking and comfort, which is more so what I see people wearing these as, they'll probably be good. And they have the nice little padding on the back for people who are complaining about their ankles being bitten into, basically. So yeah, it does a lot of things right. It does. It's just like where it takes those missteps, those carry some weight, and they got a cool little design on the bottom. So I
was going to ask about the bottom. It does look a little bit different, and it has those almost like solid fill-in.
Right, because like the bubbles are like shorter and more connected to give you a more fluid motion when you're actually moving in them.
Okay.
So yeah, overall, they did some good things. It's just 21 is going to be their year.
Next year in Vapor Max.
I mean, I'm hoping so, because like I was thinking that the 21s would be around now, but then I realized that these haven't been out that long, because they came out and it was probably a month to 2 months before I bought my first pair, which was the Glacier Blue pair. And yeah, so I think that was like the end of the summer, maybe. Let's see, because I think this was one of the launch colors, and this production wise is the 7th, so July. Yeah, so if these are being made in July, they probably would have been like end of the summer by the time they were actually in stores and stuff. Okay, so Robert Valentine's talking about the Adidas ZX 1000 Flaming Mows. Yeah, I saw the raffle for those on sneakers and stuff, and I am not sure. Like I like them a lot, but it's just in trying to be like an adult and control how much stuff I buy. That's where I'm not sure. Like, do I want to give up a slot for a shoe to this, or do I want to hold on to it for something else? Because I mean, it may look like I'm just an uncontrolled monster when it comes to some of these pickups, but no, there's a lot of waiting for deals and a lot of kind of picking and choosing. And it helps that, I also don't really get too much into like the standard weekly releases, because those tend to be a little more pricey,
Right.
All like the Jordans and stuff. I'm not going to talk down on them necessarily. It's just like, they're not as wearable to me,
The ZX 1000s?
No, like the Jordans and stuff like that. Like if I want to just put something on where I can just go out and walk around all day or just be comfortable. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Ultra Boost.
It's just so much better,
Oh yeah. I'm on my feet all the time. I'm a teacher. I'm at school just walking around. Stop playing Galaga, that kind of thing. I'm walking around, monitoring, teaching, right? The Olympics, that kind of stuff.
So, and for me, it's like, I mean, I don't do a lot of walking with work, but I do like to be comfortable. So having a lot of shoes like this, it helps, So next week I think I'll be doing a Jordan 1 week. So we'll see how my feet feel about that.
Did they start putting React in Jordan 1s at all?
Yeah. They started that not on a massive level, but in 2021, in 2019, they put the ones out that had React in the sole, and it was weird because they looked kind of like moon bootish. So, because there have been Air Force ones that have React in them,
but that's the insole, right?
But you can't tell from the outside,
right?
Because it just looks like a standard Air Force One. But when you look at the Jordan 1 that had a React, you could look at the outsole and it just had like a cloudy kind of look to it, like really puffy sort of thing.
Sure.
And I'll have to pull up a picture or something. Hey, Amy, what's going on? See, she likes comfy shoes. That's what you're supposed to like,
Love those comfy shoes.
Yes, it's like I'm not on my feet all the time.
They are kind of moon bootish. Nice. Okay. Looking at the purple ones.
Okay, because I think this is one of the first ones that came out. Like what I was just pulling up so that people can see, share the screen.
They almost look like LeBron's.
I'll find that Jordan 1 tab. So just looking at those, like that was one of the first ones I remember. And like that whole cloudy look, like something out of like Mario 2 or something, you know, where it's just like got that going on. So they have a look where like if you saw those, you'd think, is this a Jordan or is this a Nike thing? Or what's exactly happening here? Right? Like is it like a snow boot sort of thing or like snowboarding maybe? But let's see. The Air Force One React was see how these look just a little closer to like just a normal shoe?
Yeah, because I thought that was more. I thought I watched a video where someone shows the React is in the insole, not on the actual sole itself.
Because like the Ninja ones, which come to mind, that's one of those ones where like you basically take the whole inside of the shoe out practically.
Is that your video?
No.
That sure looks like a video you would make, the AF1QS Ninja right there.
No, that's not me. It does look like that though. But like you take it out and you can just kind of like squeeze it like an empty sandwich bag.
Oh.
And it's a little weird. I know Homegrown Kicks did a video of those.
Okay.
But though it has been one of those things that I've come across in the past where I was looking up a shoe because I needed to find something about it for whatever reason. And when I did the Google search, like my video was the thing that came up.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's weird, you know, because I think it was the Ice Mint Ultra Boost 19s. Like a friend of mine, he was looking for a pair. And so I just typed it in real quick just to kind of start searching or whatever, just to see where they might be in stock. And the first thing that popped up was me like holding up a pair and like, well, that's weird, you know? And then like when was it? Was it last month? Yeah, April, because I was doing all new shoes last month. And I was looking for something about the green curry shoes, like from the Air Max pack. There's 3 of them. There's green, red, and brown.
Yeah.
And I was looking up the other color because I couldn't remember what the name of it was, and I just like typed in something about it. And once again, it pops up with me, and it's like the green Air Max, whatever. I'm like, oh, so that's the name. I was like, well, that's handy that I'm out there to tell myself stuff. So
I've already done that.
Yeah, it's a little weird. So let's see. But yeah, the React shoes though, I was hoping they would do like a Huarache React, you know, because they did the Presto, and which seemed to work out pretty well. And then I thought the Huarache would be online too, you know, because it's already got like a chunky look to it, so it wouldn't really change things.
No.
I mean, how do you feel about the Huaraches? Or are you into those at all?
No, I just watched your video and other people's videos on the Huaraches. I was like really interested when I first started sneaker collecting in them, specifically the one that had the strap over the front of it. I can't remember. I can't remember what colorway it was even, but it had like a strap right at the tongue. It had a strap. I don't even remember much else. I think it was like an orange and black and white colorway.
Okay, yeah, that sounds, because I remember they were doing some like different styles, or those might have been original styles. I don't know, because like again, when I got into buying shoes, and still to this day, it's pretty much just oh, that looks kind of cool, you know? That's it. Like I don't know the history of really anything. Like there's some things that I've picked up, like if it came out like the Ultra Boost, right? Since I've been buying those since the 2.0s, because it was 2016 when I got my first pair. So since I've been buying those since the 2.0s, I've kind of learned some things along with them because I've been paying attention as they came out, right?
Right.
But when it comes to like other things, just kind of knowing what's out there, I mean, I'm a big Air Max guy, but like I just found out that there's an Air Max 96 like 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So, and that's not a new shoe by any means.
No, it doesn't sound like one.
Right. It's a good like 20 years old at least. So, but it's just one of those things. Like, I didn't know that, and I never would have really looked into it to see that.
Right.
And with like, so when I watch some of my peers, my buddies and whatnot, like they'll do their reviews, and like Jeezy, he's really good about talking about the shoe, and he'll say, yeah, when these came out in 2011, they were like this based on the original one from 95 and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, like in 95 or whatever, like I wasn't paying attention to anything shoe related, like not at all.
No.
I remember seeing like the Jordan 12. I didn't know what it was at the time. I knew that it looked pretty cool, and that was it. You know, I have several pair now, but
right.
And I know that they're designed after the Japanese sun with the whole rays thing on the side.
Whoa.
But I don't know anything else about them.
Are you talking about the 95s or the 96s?
No, the Jordan 12, like on the side, like if you look at it, like it's got like that sun thing from the Japanese flag or something.
I'll look it up so I can pretend like I know what it looks like.
Yeah, like once you see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, told you.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I'm not a history guy. I just look at stuff, and it's like, it also doesn't matter like the history necessarily, because with stuff like this, I mean, it's kind of cool to know a little bit of trivia, so I can pull out the ZX and go, oh yeah, it's based off of this. But I tell you what, though, had I never seen the ZX 8000 shoe, I still would have looked at this and thought, like, that's kind of cool. Like, I might have to get those.
Yeah, I mean, that was the same with me when I saw these just on like a random article. I think I was reading about the Lego Ultra Boost, and I was thinking like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to have the Lego Ultra Boost, which I ended up buying, but then I turned them right around and actually sold them on eBay just so I could buy like these shoes right here.
And because case in point, that's why I bought the slides. Was like I saw them and I was like, I like slides, and I haven't bought a new pair in a while, so I bought these. And then I was looking at those shoes. I'm like, there's a pair of shoes in there. And somewhere when I was looking up something on the Adidas site. It's like the ZX 8000, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh. And I did a quick Google search. I'm like, oh, those aren't bad. Like, and I saw them like for not resale, because like they were on the retail market, but retail prices. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I was like, well, if those come around, or maybe I'll just buy an older pair. I don't know. And then like it was days later, like within a week later, I feel like, when they popped up on the Adidas site, and one of the guys I follow on Instagram, he was like, hey, these are up there. Like, I'm gonna have to get a pair, blah blah blah. I'm like, hey, I've been looking for those too. And since they're not Boost shoes, they had a promo code you could use and all that stuff.
Oh, nice.
So I think they're $140 by default, but I got those for we'll call it 105 shipped.
Wow. And those are the ZX 8000.
Yeah. So
right.
This is like crazy soft down around here. These are very well done in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're gonna go back and get like the ZX 9000 of those, or I don't even know if they have them. But if you do, and they're anything like this, you can expect some good things.
Okay. And
I also got what was that I just bought? The ZX 8500, the overkill version.
Oh, yeah. Did you already post that video? I don't think I've watched that yet.
Yeah, I posted that one. I wasn't expecting to post it as too soon, but I did put it up on Saturday because I was going to my parents' house for the weekend, but I was waiting on the UPS guy on Friday before I left. So I was like, well, let me just go ahead and record this video while I'm sitting here doing nothing. And then I ran into some free time while I was down there on Saturday. So I was like, well, let me just go ahead and edit this video, and I'll throw it up on Sunday. It didn't get a lot of views because I don't think a lot of people were looking for it, and it seemed like a lot of people were distracted doing Mother's Day things.
Oh yeah,
but
Mother's Day.
But hey, it was out there, and I'm no stranger to videos that kind of fall flat for the first while and then later gain some appreciation. A lot of cult classics going on over here.
Cult classics. Like Overkill. Yeah. I think that was one of the sites I was actually checking out for the mint pair here of this ZX Ultra Boost was overkill, this German sneaker site. But them, like everybody else, releasing this before the US, just don't ship to the US. So I was really bumming, because I thought there's a great set of releases, but they're going to be European only. Kind of like there have been Asia exclusives. I thought there was going to be European only, and I thought, oh no, I'll have to stake out the GOAT page for these and check that every.
And that was not what I wanted to do.
No, you were saying what is GOAT? I know you're being facetious, but how does one use GOAT?
But I was just like, man, then because I was looking around, and when you started saying that reviews were trickling out, I'm like, okay, so maybe these are on one of those sites like when I got my, what was it, the Screen Green Hirachi? Actually, when I got all my Hirachis, I bought them from overseas sites, the recent ones anyway. I got them all from overseas sites that just happened to have them up earlier than the States did.
Right.
Even a pair of Prestos. But I was thinking maybe one of those sites will just happen to have these too. But then you brought up Packer, which was good because they had them up. They actually had them up earlier than what you were told that they would have them up on. Because I think you were told like Friday night, but they ended up going up Thursday morning or something.
Yeah, I think it was actually Wednesday night. I think they were supposed to be on Friday night, and then like sites do all the time, they released them like a couple nights early, and they're only available, I think, for that Wednesday night through like Thursday morning, and then they went off until Friday night. And so I picked these up on the Wednesday night, and then I decided I wanted to have the aqua pair like you, because I really like the colorway, and I went and picked those up on Friday. And now they're just all over the place. Now they're on Adidas website. Now they're on sneakers and stuff.
But, and it's funny because like the day that you sent me that link, because you send it like in the middle of the night or late at night, something. Because like I randomly, I'll wake up in the middle of the night. It's just like a thing that happens. And I like woke up and I just happened to like look at my phone, and you're like, hey, they're going to be on Packer. Well, no, you said, hey, they're up on Packer early.
Right now.
And like I saw
that
it was probably like 1 a.m. or something, and I saw that email, and I'm like, huh. And I just like bought them right there on the spot and went right back to sleep. And that's the thing that I need to stop doing, because I've woken up to like these emails later, and it's like, your order is being shipped. I'm like, stuff's popping up at the door, and I'm like when I did the review of those New Balances earlier today, I knew that it was a pair of New Balances. I was like, man, I don't know what's in this box. I don't know what these things are going to look like. I just know that I wanted them when I bought them, and now they're here. So let's see what they are.
Oh man, what a nice surprise though! Surprised by sneakers.
Yeah, right. So it's, or like with my the action figures that I buy, like I'll do a lot of pre-orders, and they'll send it out eventually, and like those on the FedEx information thing, if you like do your tracking, they also have your order number, so you can like cross-reference with Ringside Collectibles. And I never do, because I'm always just like, you know what? I'll just put these boxes here. I'll just open them all in one big action figure unboxing video, and we'll just see what they are. We'll all find out together. So that'll probably be, I'm waiting on one more to come in. So it looks like it's close. So maybe tomorrow, which will be handy, because then I can do this one tomorrow too. Get this one out there to the world.
Nice. And you're saying you had some New Balances too, and you already did that review earlier today.
Yeah, I just need to shoot the on foot, because I did it after the gym. So it was kind of like a race against daylight to like get as much recorded as possible, because I got enough lighting in here to do recording in the evenings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the way they come out a little better when there's more light overall in here.
Right.
So I mean I was looking at like what lighting might I need to get just to kind of give it more of a brighter view, you know what I mean? Like all throughout the day or whatever. but I'm not really sure because I got some stuff over there. Maybe something over smaller things or something. I don't know. But mostly like in that area where I do like the actual on feets, which is the only reason I keep that area clear. It's the one place where I don't put any shoes or anything.
That's that magic of movie making. So you just show us what you need to show us, and we're just in our mind's eye. We're like, oh, it's a really clean apartment. It's a really clean house.
It looks that way in the video. But then, like off camera, you should have seen the barrage of boxes that was out today. Like, and I just kind of had to like maneuver them just enough to kind of set the tripod down, because I had a whole like week's worth of shoes over here for some reason, and then I had a whole bunch that were just in the middle of the floor over there, and I'm looking at them like, why are these even out though? Like, there's no reason for this at all. Like, I had all the, and the number kept growing because it was all the shoes that I had reviewed recently, and I just like was fitting them in a neat little pile. I'm like, this neat little pile needs to go away. Like, these need to be put where they're put, like the Asics and the Vans, the Adidas, the Nikes, right? Jordans. They need to go in their own little sections of this apartment.
I think that's the real video that people are afraid to ask for. Is they want to see, you talk about the video making process. They really want to see the mess. They want to see the piles of boxes. I think that's true. If you agree, you know, say it in the YouTube comments. Say, I want to see that messy pile of boxes.
If people in the comments want to see like the walkthrough of the videos, or excuse me, the walkthrough of the crap around here, let me know. I can make that happen. And then there's like almost always like a pile of like cardboard over there by the door, but like the boxes that come in, like I flatten them so I can like carry them downstairs and throw them away easily. So there's always like that, you know, like I mean, I
always have a few cardboard boxes for sure, like in the garage. Like, okay, I'm going to sell a couple, and then I'm going to put them in these boxes, and then it's like been a couple weeks, and just 3 or 4 of these boxes laying around, and the kids are jumping on them, and they're becoming kind of hazardous to have out in the garage. So I just have to, recycle these big bunches of boxes.
Because I'll tell myself like, oh well, I need to keep a box so I can mail this to my brother whenever I give it to him. But then it's like, I'll have another box by the time like I plan to finish. Like, no doubt, like there will be another box that shows up in this apartment within the next like while. Because like I've been needing to send him some. It's something like, what is it? An Air Max 2 Lite. You know, because I bought them only for a review to remind people that they're out there, they're cheap and they're comfortable. And I bought that pair because I was like, he'll like this one, so I'll buy it. I'll do the review. I'll probably wear them once or twice, and I'll ship them on over to him. And that was like the middle of the summer. So, and like they're still here. I haven't even worn
them. Are those the turquoise and white pair? Those look nice.
It's not that pair. It's the purple and white pair.
Purple and white. Oh, okay, yeah.
Court purple, I think, is what they call it.
Yes, the white, black, court, purple.
But yeah, so I got those, and like now I'm thinking like, well, if I wear them soon-ish, I guess I can give them to my mom and have her mail them. That way I don't have to.
Here, Mom, here's some homework. Here,
because I mean, last time like I gave him some, what was it? The Ultra Boot. I mean, the NMD R1 Trail. I don't know if you caught that review or not, but it was one I actually did 2 reviews because I ended up buying a smaller size, which is the one that I kept, and I gave him the 9.5.
Oh yeah, that's the colorway. You didn't really like that colorway, I thought.
Yeah, it was. I would have preferred the blue pair that I had originally seen on Finish Line or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the problem? I think. Oh yeah, the pink pair was on sale. That's what it was. And really, it was one of those shoes that I wanted more to see what it was like, because I like to go out on trails and walk around and stuff. And maybe I think I just like doing certain follow-up reviews. So that was one that I bought And I was like, yeah, I'll walk around in these, do a little review. They seem like they'll probably be fine because at the end of the day, I'm not buying the stuff just for the reviews. It's like I do find myself out in the park regularly, so
Yeah.
may as well have some shoes for it.
Oh, I thought they looked pretty slick, pretty rough and tumble for the trails. And
yeah, I've got no problem with them whatsoever. I mean, the comfort is like compared to like my Pegasus trails and I have something else. Was it the Ultra Parley Terex 2? It's some
those yellow ones.
Yeah, those.
Oh, those look so great. Those are very expensive. I could never find like a good cheaper pair, like our on sale pair of those. Those look really nice.
Yeah. And I didn't realize at the time, but there's also two versions of those. There's like the Ultra Parley, and then there's just the standard Parley. I think the Ultra one has the boost, and the other one is just some other foam, perhaps. I don't think it's Light Strike, but it's something else. Whatever else they generally put on shoes. But yeah, and then I have a pair of made in the UK New Balance 575s, which they're trail shoes, but like one of the best quality shoes I have. So it's weird, that you have this like super nice soft suede on these, and like they're made to go out and get all dirty and nasty. Not that I generally do that, because I'm still pretty careful. I don't just like stomp through puddles, but I walk around.
That's a hard thing about collecting is, step in something and you're like, oh man, I have to clean that later. I don't want to have to clean shoes. I'll just hopefully find a beater pair. Because
people ask me sometimes, like, what do you do to clean your pairs? And I'm like, unless something catastrophic happens, I don't just like clean shoes. Like these today. This is what I had on earlier today. This 997S. And I dropped some root beer on here earlier, but it seems to have cleaned up pretty well, I mean, like it was right here somewhere, but yeah, it seems to be cleaned up pretty decently. So, because I was looking at it, I'm like, well, that's not a great color to spill on a shoe like this. And I was like, these things are always on sale, so I could probably find them and pay another $60 and get a new pair. But maybe I can just clean them.
No, they look good. They look clean.
Yeah, like because I wore these today. This was the shoe that I went with. We're doing themes for May. So this week it's collaborations. Last week was what was last week? International shoes was last week.
Okay.
So it keeps me occupied for like keeping the rotation going, So
totally.
So I think last week I did the Malaysia Gel Light 3s, the Backstreets of Japan Gel Light 3s, the International Flight 12s, the Korea, what was it? The Korea Prestos, and something else that I can't remember. But yeah, it's one of those things that I just do from time to time just to kind of make sure I'm like wearing stuff, and it makes you think about what all you have.
Yeah, no, I was doing something really similar where, I keep like a Google spreadsheet just always on the phone with all the sneakers I have. And I just started with like the first pair I have, and I've just every single day just been going down that list for the past several weeks. It's kind of scary. It's like, I definitely don't have like the shoe collection you have, and I don't need to have the shoe collection you have by any means. But it is still scary how many weeks and like how many days like it's taken to start from one, and like I'm just now in like the last week of sneakers like to work through, and these are going to have to interrupt the flow a little bit, but definitely worth it to put on some nice bright new sneaks.
And like, because in the early part of January, the early part of December, so I'll often, like your average shoe person, I'll throw my little on feet pictures on Instagram, right?
Right.
And I thought like to myself later, I'm like, you know, to add a little more substance to these, I should probably share a few words with the posts. So now, since December, like after the picture, I'll put a video up there that's just trying to,
trying to complete the.
yeah, I see that.
No, yeah, I think I've seen
But
your, like, you would post like every day. You'd say these are on feet today, and you
yeah,
give like a little blurb or something like that. That's
so
neat.
like yeah, I'll do a little like a quick little video, and it's one of those things where like you know, because I was trying, it was those. That's what I had. But then like the next post over is always like me talking about something about the shoes, right? Usually there's some kind of joke in there, and at some point. But I started doing that back in December, and I recently saw like, man, I've done about 110 videos just off of that.
Oh
And I
wow.
put a video 1 minute almost every day talking about the shoes that I wore and something relevant to the day or whatever. It started off supposed to be just like a 1 minute review basically of like, hey, this is the Ultra Boost. What I started with the Ultra Boost Mid. Remember those? It was short lived.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think they made like 5 total. But I started with those and it's like, yeah, I like these, blah blah blah. Just a short review, you know,
Right.
the main points. And now it's like, it's like my channel and stuff. It's like it's just there for my own entertainment. So sometimes people will see those videos and they're like, haha, that's funny. That joke about Kanye West. I'm like, yeah, cool. Glad you appreciate that. Glad you even noticed that, you know? So some people do. It gets like ones and ones of views, you know what I'm saying? Because most
Ones
people
and
like,
ones. Yeah.
yeah, because most people on Instagram, you see like the main picture. Like if you have more than one, you see the first one, they double tap it to hit that little like thing, and then they just move on, right? But then there's some people like, and I think they're the ones that follow me, but like not a whole lot of people. Because I'll see, you know, I'll talk to them like they follow me and like 13 other people, you know, so their
Right,
feeds are
right.
never really crowded. So then like I can, all my stuff gets seen.
Right. Yeah. It's just literally posts and posts of on feet today, on feet today, on feet today. Like, this guy wears a lot of shoes. That's great.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, it's a thing some people are into, you know.
has that helped your numbers? You feel like doing the daily, like minute long posts?
It's, I don't know, because like truth be told, like my Instagram account grows very slowly. People
Okay.
seem to be into the things that I put on there, like especially like when they're not hidden and like people see like the little videos that I put up. Like it might be like a promo for like a sneaker battle. It might be me making some joke about something from childhood. People will watch those things and go, oh man, that's kind of funny, you know?
Right.
But I think since it's not very focused, it's just like a barrage of crap. If you're looking for just the shoes, you're not going to get that. And if you're looking for just like me as a person, you're not necessarily getting that either. So you just gotta subscribe or follow and just be ready to just block out what you don't want to see. And I think a lot of people are just like, I'm just gonna not follow you. And like that's fine too. Because the thing is, like, when I get random people following me and it's like they'll have a private account, and I'm like, well, I don't even know you, so I don't even care if you enjoy this or not. So because I can't
Right.
look and see what kind of person you are, so whatever.
Yeah.
And also, honestly, I also don't really like Instagram a whole lot all the time because it's like I follow a lot of people more than I probably should, and I see the same people's stuff all the time, which is, and like the people that I see, like I like them, you know, but it's like when I'm going through and trying to like clean up the followees, like the people that I follow,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm always seeing these names. I'm like, who is this person? And then I'm like, well, I don't know who this person is. So I click on them to like unsubscribe. Like it's like they follow you, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be rude, you know. So then I just keep following them.
It would be rude to unfollow. Yeah, I guess. But
You'd be surprised. Like I follow like almost 600 people, and
Holy cow.
it's probably like at least once a month I'll sit here and I'll go back to like the first person I started following, just to start at the bottom of the list and just scroll through and whoever I see on there that I don't recognize, I click on them and it's like, oh, well, this person, okay, well, I guess you're in the clear. Then there's another person. It's like, what is this? I don't even know what that is. And I also like, I get random like stores and stuff that follow me because it's just one of those things. Like, you put up enough crap with the right hashtags, people are just gonna follow you automatically.
Yeah.
We'll also clean that up a lot. So I'll look on there and it'll be like, such and such follows you. And I'll click on it. It's like selling the finest boutique, and I'm done with this. Let's remove it, and then like they aren't following me anymore.
Right.
So if anybody's in it for the numbers, it's not this guy.
Right.
It's probably why it took me so long to get to 1,000.
So you can take people off of your like following, like who are following you.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time. Like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, where's that option? Like when I look at followers, yeah, it shows you like the most recent people that followed you.
Yeah.
You just click remove and they just go away.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's my thing, man. I'll sit here and watch wrestling and just scroll through my Instagram list, bundling it down.
Wow, I have like an exclusive group. I love it. I don't really go to Instagram anymore, but I had the Predator Minute account. I don't know if I'm probably one of like the faithful followers it shows on there, but yeah, I don't really do the Instagram anymore. It was just too many things to follow. So like I'll look at Twitter every once in a while, definitely a lot on YouTube, but you're like one of the, I think 4 or 5 channels I actually subscribe to now on YouTube. It's just so limited, just to try to really like narrow the focus and not try to take in too much. Plus I don't produce like a lot of content myself.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like I'm on there like posting stuff and it's like people will interact with it. Most people only click the like thing, but some people will like actually say stuff, and so I try to like interact with them more. It's just I just don't always see people's stuff, so then I like start to feel bad because I'm not like interacting with them as much. So basically Instagram makes me feel bad, and so I don't really like I don't do it so much. I'm bad at it. I don't know. Maybe I should just not be like a social media person necessarily, but I do because it's like a spin off of the whole Instagram or of the YouTube thing.
Right. Right. This YouTube.
Yeah. Well, like, this is what we're doing right now.
Right, we're on TV. This is great. Yeah.
But yeah,
sleeves down.
Like when I started it, like if I scrolled back to my like original post the other day because I was looking for something, and back then when I started, it was like just shoe picture, something about it, shoe picture, something about it. That went on for a while, which is probably what people would expect. And then somewhere in there, it all fell apart. I don't know what happened. But broken window syndrome or whatever they call it.
No, I don't know what broken window syndrome is.
It's like when there's a nice neighborhood and then there's like one day there's like a broken window, and if it doesn't get fixed, it just kind of expands into like other problems, then well, now there's this over here. Now there's a broken this. Now there's like vandalism. And next thing you know, the whole neighborhood sucks.
Oh, wow.
That's the short version of it.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm gonna have to use that in class sometime. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll credit you. I'll say go follow Shoes Up Sleeves Down on YouTube. Watch his sneaker reviews, his unboxings.
Yeah. The greatest shoe tuber out of Iowa, Stiff competition out there.
Yeah, shoe tuber and wrestling fan, figurine collector.
Yeah, and it's weird because like I'm more of a wrestling fan than a shoe person. Like I like my comfortable shoes, and that's really like if you look at the bulk of my collection, that's not hard to see. But when I started doing YouTube, I just started with shoes, and so now it's a shoe channel. So yeah, it's just like that's it. That's the real reason. It wasn't like, man, I really want to talk about my passion for shoes. It was just like I got some shoes. People talk about that stuff, right? Didn't even consider the wrestling thing. I didn't. Had I thought it through, this would probably be a very different channel. A very, and my money would go further too. I can tell you what.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, 180 on shoes can go a long way for the. Would you say ringside collectibles?
Right. I mean, I can buy a full wave of figures for 160. That's like what, 6? Yeah. Or I can get one pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, Ultra Boost on sale price.
Right. So yeah, that's one of the things, little backstory into the world over here. But I don't regret it. Things are going all right. Been meeting some pretty cool people. One of them right here on the show tonight.
Thank you. So, you too. Likewise.
And people will message me sometimes, but man, I've been watching you since I was like in one of your first 400 or so followers, and like you have so many more now. I'm like,
wow,
weird, isn't it?
Yeah, what do you have? It says, wow, almost 5,000. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's odd because I don't think that before this 5,000 people knew who I was. I wouldn't guess 500,
Like in real life?
Like exclude the family. I don't know if I'm making 5. But but now it's like people, and I get that not everybody who subscribes is really like paying that much attention to you, but just they've at least watched something, right?
Right.
And when I look at like my views, I don't know how many unique views I've had overall because that's a metric that's kind of hard to gauge, right? But as far as views overall, I'm at like just over 900,000.
Wow.
And that's like that many times that people have decided, you know what? I'm clicking on this video.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Really cool. Yeah. I'm spending my limited amount of time on Earth watching this video. That's wow. Yeah. Really. Yeah.
It's like when I think of like in a given day, like your average person has however many things they need to do with their life, right? They got to eat. Maybe they got to pay some bills. Maybe they got to go to work. I don't know. But somewhere in there, they're like, you know what? I want to take some time to watch this guy's video. And then some people will say to themselves, like, not only am I going to watch this one, I might watch more in the future because something about this seems like it's worth my time.
Yeah.
And that's pretty crazy to me. Like to just say that, yeah, I'm all in on this, or at least to some extent. So I don't get it. I'm appreciative of it, but I'm just like, wow. So when I say like to the viewers and stuff, like I'll ask them like, why are you guys watching this? Like, I'm curious. I am legitimately curious when I say that. Sometimes people will answer. I do appreciate it.
Sure.
And then also I'll do the giveaways to kind of give back to people.
Yeah. Those really fill up the comments too. If you're like, hey, say something in the comments for the giveaways. I noticed like Carlo Opal and like a lot of other people like play that trick. Like, hey, it would really generate some comments and some views if I do a giveaway. Not saying you do that. I'm just saying I've seen that trick before, and that then derails so you don't have a real conversation over in the comments. It's just people like, oh, Sir Carlo, like consider me. Here's my Instagram. I'm following you now and get me shoes.
Because I don't do that. Like my giveaways are always like, well, not always, but they're often just like tucked away in some mildly irrelevant video. I'll be like, hey, I'll be talking about something, and then usually it's in like my milestone videos, and it'll be like towards the end, where like people have like kind of watched enough already, like they're not even with me anymore.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But anyway, so go ahead and like tag me in a thing or whatever, and I'll randomize a list, and whoever wins. Or I'll say like, yeah, go back and watch this video and send me like the number of whatever you saw in it, and like whoever gets to me first, blah blah blah. And so then people will do that. I gave away a what's that, the Chromecast, like the remote recently, the Google.
Oh sure. Thing. Yeah.
Which because I gave the person a choice of that or the Fire Stick, and like I bought both up front, right? So I could like have them like, hey, you will get this one or this one. It depends on which one you want. And now I have this Fire Stick sitting over there in a box, and I'm like, I need to do something with that, or something needs to happen with that.
We could do a video. We could do a giveaway here for anybody who's left. Like Tristan said it here. If you can count the number of Chicago posters behind him and say it in the comments, he'll send you the Fire Stick? He'll send you the Fire Stick. There you go. And then you'll have to download the YouTube app on the Fire Stick, and then you have to watch Shoes Up, Sleeves Down, this specific video, but like watch it backwards, and at the beginning it'll be the end. No, it'll be the beginning. Man, this is so confusing. So free Fire Stick for whoever says it in the comments. Sorry to put it out there. I have a used Fire Stick, but we use it to watch construction vehicle videos for my 2-year-old.
Because like I have one of my own that I've had for a while, and it works just fine, you know.
Did you buy it for the giveaway? You bought the Chromecast and the Fire Stick for the giveaway?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, you know what? Let me just get these now, because I was at the store and I saw them, and I'm like, I don't want to go back to the store. I'll figure it out later. I'll at least be somewhat ahead. And so I did that, you know. And actually, I'm doing another giveaway. Well, it's not really a giveaway. I'm just rewarding somebody. But the details will be out tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Well, maybe it will be out tomorrow. They'll be out my next review. I can guarantee that. Which may be up tomorrow. Or it may be up Thursday morning. We'll see. Because I normally do my... tomorrow's Wednesday. Actually, you know what? Tomorrow's Wednesday. I usually do a lot of my editing during... when I'm watching wrestling, or like that last hour before wrestling comes on, because I like to, sometimes it's like a race against myself to see how fast I can edit a video and it still be like my standard of watchability. Which is you
can edit and you can watch something? That is
yeah, I do it all the time. Like,
okay.
I don't think I've ever given my full attention to any video that I've done. Like, I know that might sound bad in some ways, but nah. Like, I mean, if you've seen how my reviews are, like, there's a certain amount of like business up front, right? Like, where I'll talk about the stuff. I'll give you the details that I have.
Right. Here's the thing. Right.
But like,
thing is,
but there's some jokes in there, some like, you know, about me, some about some of the viewer commenters or whatever. Yeah, I'm just enjoying myself, and people seem to be entertained by that from time to time. And then I edit it, which is really just me covering most of the video with pictures.
Right. But you never like watch wrestling while you're reviewing, right? While you're recording yourself. That never happens.
No, and sometimes during a live, but never during like because I like to have the least amount of noise in the background.
Right.
I'll turn off my PS4, which is strangely loud. I'll turn off my little NAS and stuff. You know, I'll turn off the air conditioning or the heat, depending on whatever time of year it is, just so that doesn't kick in. Yeah, I do all that stuff. I probably wouldn't need to if I would just like invest in a better microphone, or well, invest in a microphone. But yeah, yeah, because like I record with this, right? The Note 10 Plus from AT&T, or well, from Samsung more specifically, and it sits about, I don't know, we'll call it like 5 feet from me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just up the gain in Premiere, you know, and go with it.
Sure.
Most people, nobody's really complained lately. They used to before I started like changing the volume, but now people they're cool with it. But I know that it could be better. It'd be a little clearer if I had an actual microphone.
Right. Can you hook up an actual microphone to the Note 10 to a cell phone?
I've seen some USB-C microphones or Bluetooth microphones. So I was going to try, I have some pretty nice, I don't know if you know the brand One More, like the number 1 and then more.
I don't know the brand, but I can picture in my head one more.
Yeah, they make some really nice stuff. And I bought some pretty nice wireless earbuds from them not too long ago. And that's usually what I'll use on like when I'm doing like my nature videos and stuff. Like the videos when I'm out in nature, like not particularly this one, but like that one, like when I'm walking around talking.
Right.
Usually I'll use my earbuds for that. I thought about using those for some reviews. Let's see, I record with the same phone. I can send you the link to the mic I use. Oh, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Yeah. I think you can do that. But yeah, so I was thinking about just firing up a review, like just sitting here and just going through the motions just to see how it sounds. And just kind of then go and look at it when it's being edited and see how it sounds, if everything's like not like lagging, or make sure the vocals are along with like the picture and all that stuff.
Right.
So yeah, see, he uses a USB-C mic. So yeah, I've seen some, and it's just one of those things. It's like that could make sense to do because the videos themselves seem to look fine. So, but that's mostly because a lot of the video is covered with pictures.
Right.
But the on feet, whatever. The part where I'm wearing the shoes is pretty good too, because that's like
the wearing part.
Yeah, and that's the money maker right there. That's what people want.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't. Yeah, it's not on hand. It's not on head. Yeah. It's not on my cat. It's on feet or on foot. Wearing the thing. That's how you should retitle it. Is unboxing plus wearing it. So like, people aren't confused.
Yeah, I should. Because like I see my little metrics from time to time. Like I don't look at them because I know how they're going to look, but like the viewing of the video, it'll be like it starts off here, it trails down, and then it jumps up because that's where the on foot is, and then it trails down.
Yep.
There's that little bit at the bottom where people watch through the whole thing, and I do appreciate the 1s and 2s of you that do that. But
they're watching for that giveaway. They're watching for that Fire Stick.
But overall, like it's just the number of people that are watching overall is mostly not subscribed people, right? It's mostly just like people that just show up. Where's that thing?
Right. If you put these with the ZX Ultra Boost title, I mean, I think it would be one of actually 3 on foot videos with it's Teddy and someone else who did a really like just brief video.
So like in the last month, like that's the stats for like what I'm talking about there. Subscribed 86%. I mean, not subscribed.
Holy cow.
Subscribed 13. And that's just over the last 21 days. But it's pretty consistent though, even if I go over like the last lifetime. And that's why I tell people like don't stress on like who's subscribing and expecting like a video to get you a whole bunch of subscribers. Those numbers didn't really change, and I switched it to lifetime, as you can see at the top there. So yeah, the difference is like a 0.2 percentage. So most people watching stuff don't subscribe because there's no reason to. It's free already. It's not like you have to subscribe to watch it. This isn't like the Wall Street Journal or something. This is YouTube.
Right.
So like when I talk about subscribers, it's only when I hit a milestone, because that's the only time it's at all relevant to me.
And you're almost to 5,000, like we mentioned before. That's awesome.
And yet people are clicking, like when people are clicking that button, in some ways it's like a personal victory, because it's like, I didn't ask anybody to click like, I didn't ask anybody to subscribe. I do ask for comments. I will say that. Okay, cool. He sent it to me in the messages. But yeah, so when people do subscribe, it's like, that's all right, person. Thanks.
Do people ever like stop, or no? That's a better question. How often are people stopping you in the street being like, shoes up, sleeves down? Has that ever happened?
I got stopped on the way to work like 2 weeks ago. Cause like somebody, like, a security guy or whatever, he was like, do I know you from YouTube?
Oh my gosh.
I was like, do you? That's what my head was. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what kind of YouTube you watch. So I'm like, was I talking about shoes? He's like, yeah, man, the Asics Green Gecko. Oh yeah, the Green Gecko Dynablast,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Which, I did actually, I think that might be the video that I was playing here just a second ago. Because I did a little video while I was out walking around and I was talking about that one day. Because it was weird that somebody saw that video. Because I remember doing the math. That video between the review and the performance review, at least as of that date, 521 views.
Wow.
Not a lot for, my average shoe review, right? Like my average newish shoe review usually does better, like especially like after like 3 months or so have passed. Yeah, because I think that was January. So I looked at that and I'm like, so one of the few people that actually watched this met me like randomly on my way into work. That's weird.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And then there was sometime back in 2019, a coworker, we were at the gym and he's like, hey man, like this is gonna sound weird, but like I think I watched you on YouTube recently. I'm like, oh really? He's like, yeah, did you? I went back to look at it again, that was you, right? He's like, yeah, because he was one of the few people that watched my Pegasus 35 Turbo Gaiaksu video.
I know the shoe that's like green, white, black.
There
yellow.
were two colors. It was, well, no, you're thinking the other one. This one was like brown and tan. It was like a very roach colored shoe. Like that stands out because somebody said that in a comment somewhere. But yeah, he was like, yeah, man, I saw that. And I was like, is that the guy down around the hall or whatever? And yeah, it's you. I'm like, yeah, that was me.
Wow.
And the crazy thing is like this would have been early 19 because I started my channel in early 19,
Right.
And so he saw that video. I think because he was looking for it because he had played soccer in his, which was a terrible idea because he split the sole.
Yeah.
That one, I don't know how much you remember about those or if you're looking at pictures, but the Pegasus 35 Turbo has the lower layer is React. The upper layer is
Zoom X.
The Zoom, yeah.
I have a couple pair, and it goes like this at the back.
In the back, yeah, it's got that pointy goblin toe that somebody said. It's like
goblin toe.
Yeah, that's what a dude at work said once. He's like, "Oh, you got those? What is that? A goblin toe back there?" I'm like, "Yeah,
it is now." Yeah,
but yeah, because like it can split back there, because it's I guess of how the shoe was made. But either way, they are really good for running, though. I can't argue that.
Very lightweight, yeah, for sure.
The durability seems apparently questionable for some people. Sometimes I question what people are doing though, because they'll jump in like, "Hey, did your Presto fall apart?" I'm like, "No, it didn't." Like I've had mine for 2 weeks and there's a huge hole in it. I'm like,
oh man,
like what are you doing? Like
I don't know.
I have even my earlier Prestos from when I only had so many shoes. Like they're still pretty well intact. I mean, I can show you my oldest shoe. It definitely needs to be like put out the pasture.
Put in one of those anonymous, clothing and shoe donation bins for sure. Where you just
I keep it because I look at that thing and I'm like, man, I wore that from ninth grade or 10th grade until 2005. So to put that in perspective, that's like 98, something like that.
Wow.
From like 98 to like 2005 or 6. Whenever I got my first pair of VaporMax 360s, those. I'm moving around wrong. Those. You can't really see because the picture's washed out, but
right.
Whenever I got my first pair of VaporMax 360s, that's when I put those away. And I remember wearing those for it was definitely a solid 5 years, but I want to say it might have been like 7.
Did your feet not grow then? For like that seems like
Yeah,
prime growing time.
Okay, well, let me rephrase. Well, I stopped growing like a long time ago. I've been 5'6" for a long time. So like the clothes that I have and stuff, like, I mean, I also haven't really gained any weight either. So yeah, I mean, I still have clothes that I wear from 10 years ago, like Warped Tour 2004. You know what I'm saying? Which
Yeah,
well, that was more than 10 years ago. I don't know, did some poor math on that, but still, you know what I'm saying.
I don't know. My feet have actually grown a size like in the last, I want to say like 8 or 9 years. That's like that was so weird. I went from like a 12 to a 13, like a 12 in Nikes and Adidas to a 13. Unless they just started making their shoes smaller, I don't think that's the case. But no,
I mean,
yeah.
I've noticed like I know some people say like their feet can kind of get like wider over time. My feet still look like they're very what's the word, like small, I guess, like little dainty, but like they just look very like compact to me.
No, mine just became like longer. Like I don't know, my feet became longer for somehow. Definitely didn't widen because, I know people complain about like wide feet for some of these shoes that I wear, and it's like I never have that problem, but definitely grew lengthwise.
Yeah, because that's one thing, like, which is good with shoes like this. I mean, the only question I have as far as like the normal things, like down here, I don't know how much it'll really expand because it does have that suede around here, that suede mud guard type of thing going on.
Right.
But when you have something like this, where it's just the knit, like you got some room there to some extent.
Right.
But I'm sure those will feel just fine. I'll have to try them on later, but at the same time, I don't really think I have to. And they all came in really good shape as well, which is always a plus. So I just thought they would ship faster, Packer.
Yeah, mine just came in today after ordering them. Gosh, I guess almost 2 weeks ago now. I think I tweeted at them asking them what's the deal. It says unfulfilled for the longest time for like a week, and they said because there was a high demand. It took them a long time to fulfill the orders.
I mean, sure, but like if you order like as soon as they go available,
right? You should be just.
I mean, how high could the demand? Like the rest of the demand is behind you.
Right. Right.
Like, it's like if a store opens at 9 and you're like 4th or 5th in line, and you're like, hey, why is it taking so long for me? It's like, oh, there's a huge demand. It's like, yeah, that's there. Like, like you're making breakfast burritos. Come on. So
I need to quit these shoes on and run.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on here?
Get
this thing together, make it a well-oiled machine.
Exactly. Like a breakfast burrito. Well-oiled machine. Oh man, these look great. They smell great too. I can't help but do the wear testers thing of just like smell. It's like, oh, it's that new.
That's the smell. That right there was the first time I've ever smelled a shoe. Like
what?
Outside of wait, I might have to take that back because the foam posits have a very strong smell, which I don't know if I smell it intentionally or if I just like can't help it because of all that paint that's on there. It's a thick aroma. So it's
they look like painted on shoes. I have to say those foam posits. They look like big chunks of rubbery plastic. They look interesting.
I have pairs from like 2016. Like I'll take them out of the box and it's like Jesus. It's like day one still. I like the smell. It's just crazy that it's like still so strong after all these years.
Yeah, even the Ultra Boosts definitely have their own smell too. I mean, yeah, I'm just giving away that I smell my own shoes. I definitely like do the look around to like make sure nobody sees me smell my own shoes. But like, yeah, especially like a pair I haven't worn that much. They seem to have like, I don't know, this weird kind of like sweet smell to them. It's hard to describe, but like Ultra Boosts just have their own smell. Maybe it's the boost material. Maybe they inject some extra pheromones into them or something like that. But they just definitely, they definitely like, you know, when you're downwind from Ultra Boosts.
Yeah, there is something going on down there.
I would say these even smell a little bit differently than the ones I've opened up like new in the past. But yeah, like because I order new ones, I order used ones. Just because. But they all have like this interesting aroma. Like you're saying, the foam posits have their own, and I think the boosts have their own. There's something to it. You know, memory, they say, is one of the stronger ways to remember something. Like, oh yeah, I recognize that smell from my youth versus like maybe seeing something or hearing something.
Yeah, and that's very true, because there have been times when like I've smelled something like, and I'm like, I know that smell. I don't know where it's from. I did one of those examples. I did track down to back in Iowa. There's this sub sandwich place called the Hungry Hobo, and like something that they use, like just the combination of it, like that's just how it smells. I'm like, that's this other thing smells like these sandwiches.
Smells like a hobo.
Yeah. But no, it is funny how like, you know, you smell that and you're like, I know this. Like I can picture it being somewhere.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're like, oh, I recognize this house by its smell or something like that. Right. We haven't been to a house in a while. Like a parent's house usually. Usually it's like a parent's house. You're like, okay, I recognize that parental aroma.
Debray. Debray is the word I was looking for.
Debray. How'd you figure that? You just remember it?
You know how like when you're trying to think of something, you need to stop and do something else, because that's when you'll realize what you're trying to think of.
Right.
Yeah, that's what happened. I just had to kind of not care for the last hour, and then bam, it just hits me. It's like, oh yeah, lace debray.
Lace debray. Oh, and I have the mint pair. I can show you the lace debray. I think it's the exact same color, actually.
Is that upside down?
Oh, that's weird. It's upside down.
How is that?
Collector's edition. Down? Hey, limited edition. It was sent to me upside down. I'm going to keep these. I'm going to keep them anyway. But now I have to fix them. Come on, Packer, Adidas, whoever.
Man, like I had to lace a whole pair of shoes today, so I feel your pain on that. I mean, those are the things I complain about. Like, I do not like lacing shoes. It's part of the reason I don't really like. Man, I have some laces in a pair of Jordan 1s that I don't like, and it came with other laces, but like I just haven't worn them because I don't want to change them. You know,
don't want to change.
I want them to be changed. I want the other laces in there, but I don't want to do it. So,
is it it takes time, or is it like you have to make sure they fit when you lace them up and don't want to lace them badly?
I mean, it's the time, even though it takes like a few minutes per shoe, maybe. I don't want to sit there and do it, I think. Because like I sit there and like today when I was doing those New Balances, and you're doing it, you got the whole thing going, and you're like every other lacing, I'm like, make sure they're still even, but to do, and then I can do that, and then I get to the top, and it's like, all right, cool. Oh wait, I forgot that thing in the tongue where you got to slip it through.
Oh yeah, the thing in the tongue.
Yeah, every time. And Jordan 1s are like terrible because like those don't come laced. So every Jordan 1 review that I've done, which has only been like 3, I have to sit there and like lace the shoes up before I can really like do stuff, and it sucks. It sucks a lot.
I'm looking at the other shoe, and the debray is correctly oriented. It's kind of scared of my cat climbing on me right now. But anyway, yeah. So one upside down, one right side up. Interesting.
Because like that was one of the first things I was like, wait a second. Because like like the Adidas thing is like that pyramid style when it's put together. Anyway, it's like,
yeah,
is that upside down?
The active logo. Yeah, and if you write the word Debray in the comments right now, Tristan will send you
I'll send you a free Debray.
a free Debray.
Maybe I should get my own lace Debrays made.
Maybe no. Actually, it's gonna give that asymmetrical look. So many people like.
I'd never use them. Like I just bought a pair of shoes I think you said you haven't seen the review, but the ZX 8500 Overkill came with like alternate lace Debrays. I'm like,
oh, I never hear of that.
It came with like one pair of 3M laces and then one pair of where one is green and one is white laces and 2 extra lace Debrays. And I'm like, you guys are overkill here, obviously.
Hey.
And I'm like, this is too much. Like right. I like the extras. And the fact that it was like still a retail priced shoe, I think. Was it? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. I feel like it was though. But I just sometimes it's cool that they give you all this extra stuff, but in some ways I'm like, I'm not even gonna use this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like they even gave me like a lace, or not a lace bag, like a shoe cover, like for the rain or something. Yeah, like
what?
Watch the review at some point.
Okay, I'll watch the review.
Guy, but like, just you'll see, and yeah. I didn't know any of this other stuff came with the shoe. I thought it was just going to be just the shoe in a normal box, and it just looked kind of cool. But yeah, they had a lot of crap stuffed into that box. Like, I was like, why is this thing so heavy?
How many Debrays can you fit inside a shoe box?
So I mean, it's cool. Good on them. Adidas, like they definitely do some pretty good stuff.
Hey, speaking of the shoebox, maybe we can show the shoebox off one more time. I'm loving the shoebox. I'm loving it's like a combination of like basically like their I want to say some of their collaborations, like their consortium pairs would be slide out.
Yeah, I think yours is like a slightly different color, or maybe it's just your camera. I don't know.
It's just the camera. Yeah, it's just a crappy webcam.
Well, then yours is more accurate, it seems. Then
I guess.
I like the boosts on the side there, which is kind of looks like it's the same font as they did on the bottom of the Ultra Boost 21s.
Okay, yeah, it does totally, where it's embossed or debossed into the foam.
I remember you pointed that out, but and then on the side it does have like the actual colors here.
Yeah,
which isn't something you usually see on Ultra Boost boxes, but you do see it on a lot of Adidas Originals boxes.
Right,
they'll have an abbreviated color, like this is light aqua, something yellow, and something purple, university purple maybe.
Right,
and because like when I'll see stuff, it'll be like, oh, that's high res yellow or highlighter green or whatever. I'll realize it later, but
right. I think they're just maybe trying to copy Nike a little bit. It's supposed to be Bahia Men, and it looks like it says Baja Men, almost like the Baja Men. That's pretty cool. If you're a Who Let the Dogs Out fan from the early 2000s, who could forget? And then there's EQT Green. I think EQT is another. Isn't that another model shoe? The EQT.
Yeah, I have one of those. The 90. Which one do I have? The 9118.
Yeah. Though, with like the numbers split.
Yeah, with the slash in there. Yeah,
but it's EQT green, so I don't know. I mean, if it's calling back to like classic shoes, maybe there are perhaps some EQTs older than the ones with the numbers at the end, and then there's the FTW white, which I think is footwear white. So yeah, there's your Baja Men. Let the dogs out, and they don't mention the red, do they? They mentioned the footwear white. I don't know what the footwear white. I guess that's the laces in the lace cage.
What's funny is like
green.
Sometimes I'll see like a color that's barely on here. It'll be like and gray, or there's like one little bit of gray. But then there'll be something where it's like imagine this whole thing was like pink. They just like overlooked the whole pink thing.
They do that a lot on the Adidas colorways. I know from checking out like the GOAT site, because the GOAT site will have the names of all the colors. Like there's no red mention of the red. It's scarlet. There's some scarlet red there, some nice, beautiful red, but it is just not mentioned anywhere. It's like it's here. It's on the lace cage itself. It's on the Ultra for Ultra Boost. It's on the torsion.
One thing I just noticed, like, because I was looking at yours and it seemed odd in a way, but it looks cool from the side. Now that I'm looking at it, but on the first stripe, like you see how it's kind of like curved on the first one.
Yeah.
But then the
other two are just
straight. So like when you look at it from the side, it's got that whole thing going on, which isn't okay. And if you look at the side of these, that's kind of how that goes. Like the first stripe is kind of like curved, and then it just kind of flattens out on the next ones.
Oh, someone is really paying attention to the details.
So when you look at it like that, it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, because I just saw yours, I'm like, is that like curved?
Yeah. It's interesting what they're doing with the partial stripes. They did this also with the 2.0s that came out recently. It was Jalen Ramsey, I think, did a red pair, and Juju Schuster-Smith did the green pair. Those are a couple of NFL players. But they had their own, I guess, collaborations of 2.0s where they had the stripes with these kind of chunks of color in them. I thought that was pretty unique, and I could take them or leave them. Doesn't really matter to me if they're all white or colored in stripes. Doesn't matter to me, but I like the little extra parts, extra colored parts.
Because then when you look at it on the bottom, you see like that extra white piece is kind of like what you see on here, where there's the extra purple suede.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah, that is pretty cool though. Those little details and stuff like that, I never would have noticed if I didn't have both of these. So now I'm curious to look at a pair of the actual 9000s. I don't know how different they are visually, but I would imagine not super different, because like from what I've seen of like the 10,000s and 8500s, they're all pretty close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you said those 8000s came out this year, just recently?
These came out last month. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder if like the 9000s were also released or re-released.
Like, they did a whole lot of ZX things recently. Adidas did.
Yeah, they're doing like the Ada ZX, I think, right? And they're like having just all sorts of different models of
because they had like the Zero line, like they did the 10,000, they did the 8,000, they did the 8,500. I'm assuming there's other ones, but yeah, Adidas, they go all out sometimes, which is completely fine by me.
Yeah,
especially given that like some of their stuff, some of their stuff doesn't sell like a whole lot. So like when hopefully they do like a Memorial Day sale. I forgot that's coming up. So maybe then I can like expand my collection just a little bit, even though I don't need to.
But you could, hypothetically.
Yeah, it's something to think about. This kind of makes me think of like ice, like frost.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Because it's definitely not just all one color. And that's what I think that's what the 1.0s were really well known for, was kind of hiding other colors in the toe box there, the toe pattern. If I look at like the blue, there's definitely like.
It's like, what's that one color? Hold on. I think I have that one out.
If you look like the toe box for the 1.0 for the, was this royal blue? There's definitely some dark blue, maybe some black undertones there in the toe box.
I thought I did, but I don't. I see where it is, but I'm not. Actually, no, this box is close enough to the top. I can pull this one out really easy. Yeah, it's nice to talk to another person that appreciates the good Ultra Boost.
Yeah. I meant to mention, like, you're one of the few people I know who actually regularly still put out Ultra Boost videos.
Like
I can't think of too many people besides like you and Hess Kicks down in Portland.
Like, this pair is an example. If you look down in here, you know that.
Yeah.
But this one is the better one. It's like
I have that pair. You suggested
right?
suggested I gave you some options, and you're like, oh, do that one. So yeah, I have those. Those are really great.
Down in here from the right angle, you can kind of see like the pink and the blue.
Yeah.
But like from a distance, like you don't really see it. Like when I didn't notice it for the longest time, and then I was like up on it, and I'm like, oh, if you tilt it right, you do see the little bits in there. I don't think it's in the tops or anything like that. And then, you know, a little bit down on the side too. But I just thought like that's a nice little touch to have that extra detailing split in there.
Yeah, it's like just for you, like the shoe wearer who's gonna know, and like who's gonna know? Nobody has to know.
But this is a really nice pair, though.
I really like that pair for sure.
And that's the thing that I like about the Ultra Boost is that they're all basically general releases, but like there's so many of them that look really good, and they just are overlooked by people, you know. So now I got these here ZXs. Next up, either the CC1 or the Ultra Boost or the 6.0. One of those will be next.
Yeah, the 6.0. Yeah, that's when I was interested, but I wanted to wait till they had a few other colorways because just weren't really popping out to me yet.
I like that launch color, like the bluish, whitish pair, whatever. But I definitely see where you're coming from. Don't get me wrong, but I also need to get a 5. Like I never got a straight Ultra Boost 5.0. I got a Ultra 4D 5.0. Right. I got an Ultra Boost on Cage 5.0, but I never got the actual Ultra Boost 5.0. So I need to do that just to, it's one of those round off the collection sort of things.
Exactly. Didn't do a comparison or something like that. 1 through 5, 1 through 6. Oh my gosh. They released the 5 and the 6 like just ridiculously close to each other.
I have one of everything else, So I'm gonna have to start looking at I think I saw some on sale at the local Finish Line. Otherwise, I have to see what Adidas still has because I'm guessing with the 6 being out, I don't know how long they'll sell them both like concurrently or whatever, because you would think that the 6 would replace the 5, but they're different enough that I could almost see them like living together for at least a little while.
Because there was a 5. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. With any of their past releases, it seemed like there's always been an overlap. Like when they made the 20, like the 19s were still kind of around for a bit.
Right.
When they made the 21s just came out, and it seemed like the 20s haven't really gone away just yet. Or even like the some of those other models. So given that the 6s are just now coming out, I should still be able to find some. Might have to do a little bit of digging, but it's at least not like they stop making one pair in like January, and those are all just kind of disappeared from shelves, and then like in August they release the next one.
Right. So,
and hopefully that means there will be sales on the 5s to get them to reclaim space for the 6s. That's often how it works.
I think I saw a new pair on Adidas of the 5s, and they were really, really colorful. I don't think they're out yet. But they're like almost a rainbow pair, just like with the whole upper, with its unique pattern of the upper of the 5. Just like every single section was a different color, almost like the what the colorways I think they're called. Like I have a pair of those in the 20, but these are like really. I mean, just really bright colors. Like there's not really a dark color in there. It's just like a bright orange or a bright yellow or a bright red.
I also want this particular, like, I also want that 4D. It's kind of like gray color. Yeah, those are pretty cool. But like recently, like there was a sneaker battle I was watching, and one of the questions came up that was, it was about like pull out a what the shoe, right? And then people were like, well, that's like a brand specific thing, so it's not like fair to like, because maybe people don't have those or they don't buy that brand or whatever. And then someone's like, oh no, there's a what the Ultra Boost, and I'm thinking like, is there? Because like that's more my thing than like I can't say anything about what other shoes they show. Like, is that an OG Jordan 6? Like, I don't know.
Right.
But like you started bringing up the Ultra Boost thing, and I was like, and I saw what they were looking at. And I'm like, that's not a what the shoe. That was just released from a very colorful pack of shoes.
Right.
It's just what Ultra Boost do. They just make colorful shoes.
Right. Well, there's that one really colorful pair that I told you about a long time ago, and then like I think it was like 7 or 8 months after I showed you, they came out, and it had that name, like it just had like Ultra Boost what the Solar Red, I think it was called, and that was the kind that had like the teal in the cage, and it was like black in the rear of the shoe, and it was like a bright solar red for the toe, but that was called a what the colorway, and they had that pack of shoes that came out with that nickname, the what the.
Because like well maybe I was wrong, because I saw some and I was like, I think this is just what they're. I get why people would call it that, but since I wasn't seeing anything straight from Adidas saying it, that's right. what I go with, because people will call anything whatever they want. Like nobody, like Nike isn't calling these the Oreo Vapor Maxes, but it's a common thing to call them.
Right.
Because it's what they look like, and nobody's questioned that since seemingly the dawn of time. So, but I'm gonna have to see about these, get some 5.0s. Oh yeah, there's that glow in the dark pair that I wanted, kind of. It's not like I don't want them a lot.
Those are 5.0s? Yeah, I know the kind you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I said it somewhere, right?
Yeah, 5.0. Okay. I guess because they're so light, it's harder to see that pattern.
Yeah, those are glow in the dark, so I did kind of want them only for that reason, though.
Yeah.
I'm not a big white shoe guy, but sometimes stuff like that just kind of gets you. So we'll see. We'll have to come back to that. Do that a little bit later. But for now, I'll probably go ahead and get this wrapped up and all.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me on. This has been great.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, it was good just to kind of sit back and talk and do the Ultra Boost thing, talk about some stuff.
Yeah, always down to talk about Ultra Boost.
And I'm not sure when I'm gonna start it, but probably maybe like next month or something. So every so often I'll have people on, and like we'll just kind of do like. I hesitate to call it an interview because that sounds like interrogation, but I'll bring people in and we'll talk about whatever, just kind of about them. But one of the things that I'm going to start doing that's slightly different, because that's more just like about the person, not so much the shoes, just see who they are behind the camera.
Right.
But one thing that I'm looking at doing is going to be like more of a little glimpse into the person's collection, right? So it'll be like a 5 shoes that like stand out to you for whatever reason of your collection. We'll just talk about those and why they matter.
Nice.
Like it's easy enough. So I'll have to let you know when I start doing that. We'll have to set up a time to like do that, because I know that you have a few that you wouldn't mind showing off. So
absolutely. No, I love that. That'd be fun.
It might be a little difficult to narrow down, but it's. I don't know if it'll be one of those things like you can go and say, well, this represents the 1.0s that I really like. This is like the uncaged, and I really like them. And this is this color. However you want to do it, it'll just be like a 5 shoe sort of thing. But I'll probably start doing that in the next little while.
Awesome.
So, but I'll definitely let you know so you can come on back and we'll get that going, and it should be a good time.
No, it'd be really fun, and then I could watch my Fire Stick that you sent. Appreciate that. It's in the mail. I'm gonna be watching all sorts of Amazon shows like Invincible and The Boys.
The Boys is pretty good. I do feel like it's probably I almost feel like if I picked that I feel like if I pick that fire stick up, there's gonna be like a dust outline of where it's been sitting there.
No, yeah, I really enjoyed The Boys. I don't know. Did you watch Invincible? That was a really solid show, I thought.
I just heard about it like 2 days ago, so I added it to my list yesterday, but no, I haven't watched it yet.
It's definitely in that same vein of The Boys, taken from like a really much more like, I don't want to say serious, but just more like, I don't know, just more like kind of violent, I would say, kind of like series of comics. I don't read comics or anything like that, but something like The Boys always stood out because it was so different than all the other superhero stuff, and the Invincible's like that too, but just animated.
And I was somewhat on the fence because it had a look where I was like, is this like a kid thing or what is it? And then I saw that it was by the Kirkman guy that did like Outcast and I guess The Walking Dead and other stuff that I know of but can't think of. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, if it's from him, then it's probably got some substance to it.
Yeah, really solid stuff.
Because again, I thought it was just like a made up, like an Amazon original. Like they got some people in the rooms, like, let's think up some superheroes. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm trying to watch that. But now that I know a little bit more about it, I'm like, okay, that's why this is going to get put on my list.
Right.
So now it's on there. Fire up this Amazon Fire Stick and watch it. This review has been brought to you by
Amazon Fire Stick. Oh, so fun.
Oh man. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'll let you do that thing that we talked about in the beginning where you can tell people where you are on the internet and stuff.
Right. Well, my name is John, and I am one half of the podcast Seen It All with Jeff and John. That's SCENE, the, I guess, every other weekly podcast where we break down a scene from a movie of our choice. And then at the end of each episode, the host who didn't choose that episode's scene chooses the next episode's scene to talk about. And we really do a deep dive. So we've done... I think we've recorded 6 or 7 episodes. I've released 4 of them. The first one being the Terminator 2 LA River chase scene. The second one being the Big Trouble in Little China battle at the Royal Arcade to break up Lopan's wedding. And then if you're interested in that kind of talk and that kind of deep dive, you can check us out really on any kind of podcatching device, podcatching app. You can even ask your Alexa to play Seen It All with Jeff and John. We're on there too. So that's Seen It All with Jeff and John.
All right, there you go. Appreciate that. And I'm here too. So there's that. So that being that, from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I'll be back with videos at some point, but you probably already suspected that would happen now, didn't you? So for now, later, people. And thank you again to John for coming through and entertaining people with me and all that good stuff.
The ones. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. I'll see you later, man. Have a good night.
All right. You too.